Under the supervision of Dr. Thomas Waugh in the Mel Hoppenheim School of Cinema, Dr. Damiens' PhD dissertation, Festivals Uncut, Queer ING Festival Studies, Curating Queerness, brings together the field of film, archive, festival, cultural communications, and queer studies, creating bold new connections, questions, and insights within the areas of community curation and archiving, cultural heritage, and canonization and sexual gender minority activism. Under the supervision of Dr. Jamal Benatar in the Concordia Institute for Information Systems Engineering, Dr. Abdul Wahab's PhD dissertation, Game Theoretic Foundations for Forming Trusted Coalitions of Multi-Cloud Services in the Presence of Active and Passive Attacks, designs and implements a revolutionary economic-driven and artificial intelligence-based intrusion detection strategy that allows the cloud systems to maximize the detection of multi-type simultaneous attacks. That's a long sentence. Dr. Abdul Wahab is currently a postdoctoral researcher at the École de Technologie Supérieure. I would now like to ask Dr. Damiens and Dr. Abdul Wahab to give the valedictory address.
Chancellor Winnow, President and Vice Chancellor Shepard, Dr. Monk, Dr. Pilon, distinguished guests and participants, fellow students, families, and friends, we are pleased to address you today on behalf of the graduating student in the Faculty of Fine Arts and the Gina Cody School of Engineering and Computer Science. So when I received the call informing me that I was selected as valedictorian, I experienced several emotions. First, pride, of course, but almost immediately, fear. A type of fear many of us have experienced, the maudit syndrome de l'imposteur.
That is true, Antoine. I had personally experienced imposter syndrome many times in my life. In fact, every time I encountered a new challenge, I felt reluctant to accept because I doubted myself. 6 years ago, for example, one of my professors offered to supervise my master's, mentioning that I would have to do some research. Back then, I had no clue what research was and was reluctant to accept the offer. I didn't believe I had what it takes to be a successful researcher. But luckily, I accepted the offer and surprisingly discovered that I love doing research. When I was offered the PhD opportunity here at Concordia, I again doubted myself. How would I adapt to Canada's research environment and society? But I took the risk and discovered new passions and skills that had led me to be here as your valedictorian. Last summer, my PhD supervisor asked me to teach a course and I freaked out. Presenting and teaching were not my forte. It is true that I have good research skills, but I was uncertain about my teaching skills. I accepted the challenge, and when I started teaching, I fell in love with the experience. Now, I'll be joining the Université du Québec en Outaouais as a faculty member. This time, I'm accepting the challenge with confidence and excited to discover new hidden abilities within myself.
Unfortunately, I don't have a job yet. And sorry. But it's partly because I finished my PhD in 4 years. That being said, I've been particularly lucky. I was offered several scholarships, and I never had to work outside of Concordia. Also, I'm a white francophone cisgender man, and it clearly helps. What I wanted to tell you today is that I see you. I had the privilege of teaching at Concordia, and I know that most of you worked several jobs while doing several unpaid internships. Most of you were also heavily involved in the community, fighting for trans people, in the Black Lives Matter movement, or for indigenous people's rights. And that clearly takes time, and of course, that makes focusing on school far more difficult. So all I did was getting good grades, when most of you had to find ways of surviving and studying at the same time. You are my true hero, and I want to honor you today for graduating, surviving, and making Montreal a better place. That's what I call a great accomplishment. Les étudiantes et étudiants de Concordia me donnent confiance dans l'avenir et me font croire qu'une meilleure société est possible.
I encourage you all to take up Antoine's message to make our community a better place. Mettez-vous au défi. Do not be afraid to make big moves in your life, since only by making those big moves that you discover the jewels that are hidden within yourself and make your positive impact on our society. N'ayez pas peur de faire des grands changements dans votre vie, car juste en passant par ces changements-là que vous découvriez les perles qui sont cachées en vous-même et que vous faites votre impact positif sur notre société.
Congratulations, Concordia graduates. Be proud of what you have accomplished and where you are going.
Dr. Damiens and Dr. Wahab, thank you for a powerful message and for a wonderful valedictorian address. Thank you.